Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing good out there. Today we're going to do a fun video on and reviewing the Vortex Venom red dot. So I bought this back during Black Friday, and since I was in the process recently of building a pistol for myself, the opportunity came up to get a milled slide that would fit a Vortex Venom red dot. And so I went ahead and took the chance and figured, well, it's now 2023. It's time to maybe start looking at a lot of this technology. I've always shot iron sights on pistols, but hey, things change, things get better. And so whenever I could get a milled slide for this pistol I built, I said, let's do it and let's do a video on it and see what we think. This is definitely going to be kind of from a novice perspective, I guess you could say, because I don't really know a whole lot about these in terms of the use of a red dot on a pistol or anything like that. So for those of you out there that are kind of new like me to the whole thing, hopefully this video will prove useful and I'll have some good insights out of it as I go through the process and film everything. And also too, this is something where we've gotten to where in terms of price, where the technology is accessible. So back when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, red dots for pistols actually did exist at the time. However, they were enormous, bulky things that was something that you only saw in Hollywood films or IPSC shooters or something would have, and they were also very expensive as well. The technology, of course, has miniaturized now. It's gotten much smaller, and also too much more affordable. So I actually ended up picking this up on sale during Black Friday. So these are out there at a reasonable price, and yeah, let's have a look at it and see what we think. All right, so we'll go ahead and we will open up the box here. Have not had a chance actually to look at any of this stuff yet. I see something here for the Glock MOS, which I know is Glock's basically their pistols outfitted with a slide cut for these. Looks like we have a little manual or something in there, and we can kind of looks like everything is all nice and sealed up in the box right here. So I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and get the knife out and cut this open. We'll be back in a sec. All right, folks, so we went ahead and undid all the plastic packaging. So when you unwrap it, just watch for it because these three screws were all loose inside of the plastic wrap there. So just be aware of that. Looks like we have our little Allen key and screws for the Glock MOS that are separate. Looks like we have some sort of cleaning cloth for it. We have a little manual, which the manual here doesn't sound look too complicated. So I'll have to go through and read that real quick. Doesn't look like it'll take too long. Then we have some sort of dust cover here. We have our mounting plate. We have our battery. We have our three screws. We have the optic itself. So yeah, this looks pretty sturdy to me overall for what it is. So yeah, so pretty cool. And then we also have our screwdriver right here for installing everything. So yeah, looks like a nice little kit. Everything comes supplied for you. And so let's go ahead and look through the instruction manual and see how easy it is to install this. So some of the things they talk about here is they give you basically an easy diagram. So should be able to figure this out quite easily in terms of making all of our adjustments. Some of the features that they point out: anti-reflective lens coating on the lens surface. Also too, there's a coating to protect it from scratches, oil, and dirt, which is obviously something that would be key in a situation like this. O-ring seal for waterproof performance and shockproof as well. The protective cover, you know, if you need to basically protect it, keep it out of the elements. Installing the battery, also too, powering up or off, and then adjusting the brightness, adjusting the windage and the elevation, So it looks like whoever did the instructions, they kept it pretty simple. It looks very simple. VIP warranty, unlimited, unconditional, lifetime warranty. Does not cover loss, theft, deliberate damage, cosmetic damage affecting product performance. So if it croaks out, apparently they will replace it or repair it for you. So that's good to know. All right, folks, so let's talk about some of the practicalities of using this Vortex Venom on a daily basis. We've now been using this for about 7 to 8 months now, so we have a bit of seat time with it. Let's go over a couple things. First thing is there's no shake awake on this, at least as of right now, whenever I put this video out. Maybe they'll change that in the future, but if you want to turn the optic on or off, all you got to do is hit one of these two buttons right here. For me, the shake awake function, this was kind of more of an experimental optic for me to try out red dots on pistols and kind of see what I think. So I wasn't as concerned about getting that feature right off the bat. This is strictly just going to be pretty much a range gun, experimental gun to try out different things. So to use it, you know, at the start of the day, whatever, all you got to do, and we'll just get the kind of pull the window up right here, is just hit one of the buttons on the left side. And boom, there it is right there. So it's not that hard to do. It's something where if you were going to carry this, you would probably just go ahead and hit the button at the beginning of the day, you know, or just as part of your training, you just have to remember to hit the button basically. But that is something that you do have to consider or think about whenever you're using an optic like this to make sure that that dot is there whenever you need it. So that is going to be one consideration potentially to kind of think about with this, if that function is important to you or not. We see, like with a lot of brands, I noticed like with Holosun, I was looking at some of their different optics. There's, you know, different models that they have, and some of the models that are I think it's like the 407. You can get a much cheaper model of the 407, but it doesn't have that shake awake feature or some other functions. So again, you just have to kind of pick through what kind of works for you or what doesn't work. And that is just one thing about this optic. Now, another thing is that I remember a former colleague who at one point worked for a major gun manufacturer. He was saying how some folks that were not used to using red dots were having difficulty kind of picking up the red dot. And I kind of suspect once I started using this, kind of the issue perhaps is that people are kind of looking for the dot as soon as they see the window, and then when they don't see the dot, they're kind of disappointed. So you can see even right there, you're not really picking up the dot. And the one thing I like with the Vortex Venom, and I know a lot of different models, they kind of have their different approach to how they do it or don't do it. But pretty much you have two lines here simulating a rear sight. And what I find with it is just using actually those two lines to guide your eyes just as you would to look for that front sight post, and boom, the red dot is right there. So I have found those two lines to be very useful just to kind of like pull my eyes into where they need to be and looking straight down the bore for that red dot where our front sight post would be, and boom, we're right on target. So that is one little useful thing about this, and I've seen other manufacturers do similar things. You know, it just depends, but I do like that little feature that Vortex has there. In terms of durability, haven't had any issues with this, and the battery also seems to be chugging along just fine. No problems whatsoever, so probably I'll let it go at least a year or so, and unless it runs out before then. And I expect probably usually with a lot of these red dots you get tens of thousands of hours before the battery will run out, but you know, no sign of it running out, running strong, so that's good. The other thing is with these screws that I installed on this slide, it's been very stable, so there's no sign of anything coming loose or anything like that, so that's been good. I'm getting a little bit of wear marks here around the edge of the window for me handling it, so I should probably use the cover that comes in the box with this a little bit more, and just use that to protect it whenever I'm not using it. Probably not a bad idea to do that. So I've been just kind of, just kind of putting it to use, and you're just gonna kind of get that wear and tear. The window itself seems to be doing excellent. I have had to clean it a few times whenever oil has splashed back. With this particular firearm and slide, we've had numerous kind of issues with it and stuff. I documented that in another video with a custom Glock build. You can check that out. I was trying to lubricate it a fair bit and got a bit of oil back on the window. I just used like a lens cleaning cloth and cleaned it, and also Vortex, they give you one as well. And the window is looking back to nice and clean. But I did get it kind of smudged up with a fair bit of dirt, but I kind of looked at it from an angle in the light. Don't see any sort of scratches, anything like that. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and take a look at the dot here, just so you can kind of see what you think. Now, this is a 6 MOA dot, which is kind of a little bit on the large side for a lot of these optics. Most of them seem to be about 3 MOA, so this is something where you just have to kind of decide what kind of works for you. Overall, for me, just general pistol shooting, and I'm not really shooting over 25 yards with it, 30 yards. This seems to work fine. So you just, pretty much get that dot, covering up some general area on the target, and you're pretty much, good to go. So I'd say if you're shooting kind of more for speed and you just want to get rounds into a general area, then yeah, I think this works fine. So just kind of look through it and just kind of see what you think. I think for me it works good. Now I do have another 3 MOA dot optic, which I will be reviewing soon. So it's going to be interesting to see what I like or don't like. That's why I'm doing a lot of experimenting with this stuff. But yeah, I think the 6 MOA dot for general shooting works just fine. Okay, folks, so let's go ahead and take a look at things. It's about 5 p.m., about 2 hours before sunset. And this is kind of what it looks like at 15 yards on target right there. So just to give you kind of a good idea of what to expect, what it's going to look like. And looks like the phone is kind of wanting to do its own thing. So there you go. So let's take a couple of shots here from the camera, and so you can just kind of see how it is kind of close up whenever we shoot. Okay, folks, let's take a couple of shots from behind the gun here. All right, folks, let's go ahead and wrap up the review on this Vortex Venom red dot and talk about what we think about this nice piece of equipment here and what our final thoughts are and how things have held up. First thing I'll say is this: if you are interested at the end of this video purchasing this, check out the Amazon link below. Purchasing through there just kicks back a tiny commission to the channel. And it's just a voluntary way for you all to support the channel so we can keep cranking out more and more videos and upgrading equipment, all sorts of stuff. All the money that we earn through there just goes right back into the channel. So do appreciate you all to do that. So what do we think? Well, first thing is, in terms of the selling points on this, whenever I first bought this, the lens coatings, and then also protecting against scratches and dirt and oil, shockproof, waterproof, all that stuff. 10 illumination levels, auto shutdown, the ability to adjust the brightness. We did get the 6 MOA dot here. And so how has that all held up? Well, everything has worked as it's supposed to. So that was kind of the funny thing with this pistol. It was kind of an experimental test bed for a lot of different things, including running a red dot on a pistol for the first time. And as I went through this project, as I detailed in another video, The funny thing was, the only thing that wasn't a pain in the ass was the Vortex Venom. Right out of the box, this thing did everything that they advertised it to do. Never had one single issue that I can recall at all. Everything in terms of like the clarity of the dots, and let's take another little look at that. The clarity of the lens, just looking through the whole optic. Battery life, sighting it in, acquiring the dot in your vision, like right now, I'm just picking it up here in the camera lens. All the different, the little controls here, and basically being able to turn it on and off easy, switching between auto and manual mode. Right now I have it in auto mode. Everything has just worked well. Whenever I got it real dirty with a bunch of oil and a bunch of crap, whenever I was trying to lubricate this firearm up and got all this oil all over the lens, just used a lens cloth and cleaned it up, and there's no perceptible issues from that at all. All the clarity is looking good. And yeah, it's been very durable. It's not had any issues here on the mount. Once I put those screws in, no problem at all. And yeah, it has just worked really well. Now, probably the one downside that a lot of y'all might find to this is that there is no shake awake function. So that's one thing that you're going to have to consider. But the thing is with this is that pretty much once you hit one of these two buttons here, it comes on in an instant. So we talked about that previously in the video. I won't go into that again. But pretty easy to use. You just have to remember to turn it on, no problem. Personally myself, for firearms that I would purposely build or carry for self-defense, and it would be a carry piece or something that would be, in a vehicle or, ready at hand in the house or whatever it might be. Probably I'd go with a shake awake optic for that, but for just a range gun, which this is really, like I said, this is what it was going to be. I didn't have a problem with turning it on or off. So that's probably just the one thing that would be the bugaboo about it. Overall, just a real sturdy piece of kit. I think also in terms of the price, it's a fair price as well. And I expect this to hold up for years to come. At some point, it may come off this slide and end up on another firearm. So probably in other reviews, you'll probably see it sometime in the future on another gun or something like that. So this will probably, I expect to change out this slide and turn this slide into a paperweight the way things are looking. So probably this will end up soon on something else. Very happy with it. Would I buy it again? Definitely I would buy it again. Wouldn't have any problem buying it again at all. We'll probably end up buying a couple of them for different guns. So very happy with it. And yeah, really have nothing negative to say at all. It has been a joy, and I've been very happy to use it and shoot it. So, well, y'all, it's been fun. So hope y'all enjoyed the review. We have another review coming up. I won't spoil it for you, but we have another pistol optic that we're going to be reviewing very soon. That one, however, is a green dot, and we will get into that whenever we do start that review and get into that review. So that is coming up probably before the end of the year, I'd imagine, because I'm going to shoot it for a while. So stay tuned for that. We also have a bunch of other videos coming up as well. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. All sorts of cool stuff coming. So stay tuned. All right, folks. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.